Hi.
How are you?
Good.
These are win or uncle gift cards.
Somebody's birthday or something? Yeah.
Someone's retirement gift.
Oh, retired. That's good.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Have a good day. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Good.
How are you?
We're very sad. I'm very sad today.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm not going to see you anymore.
I know. Some of my customers have been saying bye to me, make me cry.
I know. I don't want to
I
cry.
want to cry.
I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
About your card. Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for your service
That's
and
so nice.
for
Thank you.
being so nice to us and helping us.
Likewise to you. Always coming in with your beautiful smile, make me happy. When I'm having a bad day and I see you, and I'm like, oh.
There's an incredibly nice woman who works at the postal office in downtown Las Vegas on Las Vegas Boulevard who goes by the name of Sandra. When I say works at the post office, I do mean today actually is her very last day. If you are one of those awesome people who has happened to order a piece of favorable apparel, chances are Sandra, over the past 3 years or so, has had a hand in delivering that favorable apparel from us to you. She was there when we started up this little vlog project operation, as well as this favorable apparel operation. So Boosie had the fantastic idea to come over to the Wynn and grab her a gift card that she can use at the spa or the restaurants or anywhere she so chooses. Give her a proper send-off. Happy trails, Sandra. Thanks so much for all of your help with favorable apparel. And not only that, but also for being such a friendly face and such a kind person, and for helping us figure out this first ever business adventure that Boosie and I started 4 years ago now. Speaking of the Wynn, it's back, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard me say it before, perhaps the nicest poker room in all the land. Day one of its reopening. Same situation as the Bellagio. Masks up, plexiglass is up, but poker is back. You'll find me at the PLO table in the early going today. They are getting me, you guys. They are getting me so far here at the Wynn in the Pot Limit Omaha. What a surprise. We're playing 1-2 Pot Limit Omaha with a $5 bring-in. So that means if you're gonna limp in, you have to do it for $5. So it definitely plays somewhat deceptively big for a game that is denoted with blinds of $1 and $2. In the long term, of course, the good players are gonna win. And I feel like I've been getting in a decent number of hands during the whole lockdown quarantine situation. So my game has definitely improved since last time you saw me play PLO on this vlog. By how much? Tough to say. We have our buddy Joe Ingram in the game.
I like you. Good. What's up? Good. I like you. I like you. I don't play you.
Good news is that he's on my direct right. Bad news is that he's running like God. And that's versus everybody, including me. So I've had a bunch of playable hands, hands such as Ace-9, 8-7 with the nut suit in the cutoff. 3-bet that hand, it doesn't work out. Pocket aces at least once or twice. Find myself in 3-bet hands with that holding, and that doesn't work out either. So definitely in the hole. Stuck here, not working out as nicely so far today as it did during our last session. Down somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 US dollars. I have seen some people asking about the game quality and the general situation with the plexiglass and the face masks and all that stuff. My general feeling on it all is that it's actually like not really that big of a deal. I guess like some people are going to think differently or feel differently about the whole mask wearing situation. To me, it's not that big of a deal. I can understand how it might get a little bit uncomfortable if you're playing a long poker session wearing a mask for like 4 to 6 to 8 hours. That could get a little bit draining. During these first couple of sessions so far, feel like the game quality is pretty good. And one reason for that, which you could probably make an entire video on its own about, but one reason for that is because a lot of the tougher European players are not in town. They're not stationed here in Las Vegas. All right, I'm not gonna give up. I'm going back in there. I'm going back to battle in the pot Limit Omaha game. Let's go. I have faith. I know you guys don't really have faith in my PLO game, but I have faith. I've just been running bad, at least tonight, and I'm feeling like things will turn eventually, hopefully. I find it funny when people talk about retiring from poker. I find that pretty interesting. What would be the reason to permanently retire from poker, which is something that you can just kind of do whenever you want, and you don't have to have any obligations as far as that pursuit, reporting to a boss or having employees or signing a contract or anything of the sort. You can kind of just play whenever you want. So I've seen a couple people in the poker industry who have found amazing success in the poker industry, don't get me wrong, but they have gone on to announce their retirement from poker to focus on other things. Why not just focus on other things and say, I'll play poker sometimes when I feel like it. Maybe even if that's not that often, but I'm still gonna play poker sometimes. I don't know if there was one major hand of the night here in the pot Limit Omaha game at the Wynn, like there was the other night in the 510 game at the Bellagio. One interesting hand went down when WSOP bracelet winner Rampage Poker Ethan limps under the gun. We look down at a very pretty hand, ace queen 10-9 double suited. I'm gonna raise this one up, pretty standard. I make it 20 to go. This one goes 4 ways. The flop comes down king 6-3 with 2 spades and 1 heart. So we flop a flush draw and a backdoor nut flush draw. So when action checks to me, it's kind of an interesting spot. It might look like maybe somewhat standard of a C-bet with all those things happening. What would really suck is getting raised, and then we're drawing to the non-nut flush. I think I want to tread maybe a little bit lightly here on this flop and put in the check. That's what I do, and action checks all the way through. The turn is the 9 of hearts. Now we have 2 flush draws plus a gutter straight draw. The second flush draw is to the nuts. So this time, after action checks to me, I think it's time to put some money into this pot. I bet $70, and only the big blind, I believe, makes the call. River's a beautiful one. It's the queen of hearts, so we end up with the better of the 2 flushes. It's the nut variety. He checks it over to me, and I'm gonna try and go for some value here that is not too greedy, because my opponent can only call with a worse flush that is not nutted. Obviously, that might sound obvious, but I don't think we wanna just bomb away here. Since we bet on the turn and not the flop, it's going to look maybe a little bit more like we have the heart flush rather than spade flush. Anyway, I decide on a sizing of $110. My opponent thinks for a little bit, but then he says, I'm going to pay you off here. He tosses in the chips. My opponent rolls over a king high flush. So I don't know, maybe we actually could have bet a little bit more there. Maybe we could have gotten a little bit more, but I'm pretty happy with it. Happy to finally win a pot of decent size and with a very pretty hand in pot Limit Omaha, because I've been looking at a lot of rags, a lot of garbage in this game, aside from the occasional pocket aces hand, which hasn't worked out. All right, one more really fun hand, and only including this because Joe Ingram has won a bunch of money off of me earlier in this game. I feel a little allowance to include this hand as a result of that fact. But anyway, Rampage, he opens from under the gun, and Joe has been relentlessly 3-betting in position. Pretty clear what his strategy is to play a super wide range pre-flop and then navigate better than anybody who has much less experience than he does in this game. As mentioned, he 3-bets here. He's been doing it a ton. So when I look down at a queen high double suited hand, I think we might have a little bit of an opportunity here to get a little bit out of line. We definitely want to play this hand, especially in position versus Joe, but I don't think we necessarily want to flat call here, because when we do that, we incentivize people to call behind us. And with this kind of a hand with non-nutted suits and kind of like a middle-ish rundown, this hand is going to be dominated a decent percentage of the time, both with the suits and with the ranks of the cards. So I'm going to put in a 4-bet here. This is definitely non-standard situation, but 4-bet time, $125, folds back to Mr. Joe Ingram, and only he makes the call, which is not all that shocking. Flop comes down terrible. It's 6-3 deuce rainbow. He checks it over to me, and there's not a whole lot of hands that this board is going to hit with my 4-bet range all that often. And aside from that, we have nothing. So not really loving life here. I just decided to check it back. Maybe we could have like ace-ace 6-6 or ace-ace 5-4, but those types of hands are really the only ones. Turn is no improvement to us whatsoever. It's the king of clubs. We don't have any clubs, and we don't have a king, and we have queen high. So I'm not loving this situation all that much. Just kind of like waiting to pick my spot here and see what happens. Joe checks this card. I check this card as well. We're off to a river card. I believe it's an offsuit 8. Whatever it is, it's inconsequential. No flush, no additional pairs, no additional straights, nothing of that nature. So when he checks it over to me again, definitely can't just check down queen high here. Got to put in some sort of a bet. I decided to casually toss a black chip in there, $100, and Joe, thankfully, has probably absolutely nothing. As usual, 3-betting with the usual same sort of thing all night. And anyway, he lets it go. I don't show it in the moment. I don't want to rub it in the guy's face. He seems like a nice enough guy. Even though he did happen to win several $100s off of me in various hands tonight. Let's take the high road. We'll just casually slide that hand towards the dealer. Hello.
Hello. Here we are.
I've noticed you haven't been on social media as of late, recent times.
True.
Any particular reason?
Listen, man, I don't know. Figuring other things out in my life, man. Taking a break from social media. I think it'd be very energy draining. You're on Twitter all the time. You're on Instagram all the time. You're communicating with people. You're taking in so much input. So I decided to develop my life outside of poker, outside of worrying about what's happening in the poker world, poker community, all these kind of things like that. So, yeah, man, it's been very peaceful. Very much enjoying it.
Do you think it's possible that you will ever retire completely from social media?
No, definitely, yeah. I mean, I'd probably hire someone to like if I did any sort of like YouTube content or podcast content, because I like doing the podcast. Then I would maybe hire someone to like post some stuff like that. But yeah, no, I haven't been on Twitter in a while. It's quite nice.
Do you ever think you will retire completely from poker?
No, Pot Limit was so fun. I love playing. I love playing poker. I think like the poker community, in a lot of ways, is quite, very negative, toxic, focuses on the negative, focuses on the bad things. They don't focus on the winning or the fun things that it brings to people's lives out there. It's just like very, it can be very draining constantly. So yeah, I love playing. I mean, I love playing PLO. I've been playing a lot online. Been playing a lot here now. At the Win Open, I'll be playing out here more. So
you think you'll play until the day you die?
Why not? It's great. It's so much fun. Like, get to come here, talk to people, play 4 cards, Pot Limit Omaha. I mean, you played with us tonight, you know what I mean? I appreciate you coming over. Thank you very much.
You get fish like me in the PLO game. How can you stop?
I think you won.
How can you quit?
I think you actually ended up money. I think so.